Welcome to a very exciting unboxing. My only complaint about BenQ's 2420TX, which if you guys do or don't recall, I'll tell you either way, is the 3D monitor that we use for all of our 3D vision testing because unlike most other 3D monitors that I've ever tried, I don't get a headache using the 2420TX because it's all about pixel response times when it comes to a smooth 3D experience. I mean, with that said, no LCD is perfect. And something like a DLP projector or, you know, hopefully at some point in the future, like an OLED display. I really wish SED had taken off. Anyway, the point is the 2420TX is the monitor we use for our 3D testing because it's awesome. And my only complaint about it was that it's 24-inch as opposed to 27-inch, which BenQ's competitor, Asus, has had on the market for quite a while. So in the top, we find a stand. I realize I should have been showing this to you as we were on. What's the point of an unboxing if I don't even show you what I'm looking at? Here's their little control module, so you can control the on-screen display with a little wheel and a click and a back and a 1, 2, 3 for profiles and things like that. There's also a dust cover. We'll show you that later, as well as some cables. You know what? I give up. I'm not even going to bother showing you guys that. Okay, moving right along. We've got, oh yeah. See, you always know a monitor is like better when it comes in more pieces. Trust me on this, you guys. If a monitor comes in one piece, it's because it's like super low profile, which means it probably has no height adjust. It probably has like no swivel or anything like that. It's probably a super basic monitor. So this packing material up here, it's kind of scary for unboxers because at some point, everything you unbox has to be reboxed. And look at all these compartments. Nice thick foam though overall, so I'm not too worried about the product being damaged in any way, even though it is a bit of a weaker style of foam, and it can only take one serious impact, unlike a softer closed cell foam. The good news about it though is that this was shipped just in this box alone, and nothing inside, even the foam itself, was damaged. So here's the LCD panel itself, which has about 1 inch of foam around the outside edges here. You can see there's less than 1 inch here, but there's a gap there, so it's fine. It's not actually the monitor up against the edge of the box. And then it sits face down in this guy right here. 27-inch monitors. Some people find that the dot pitch of a 1080p monitor at 27-inch is a little bit low. That is to say that the pixel density isn't quite high enough. It depends how close you sit to it. Personally, I love large format, high resolution monitors, but many people also don't mind it and even find it more enjoyable because what it does, and this is just, it's kind of an indirect side effect, is it makes text larger. It makes everything generally larger. So particularly if you don't see well, a larger monitor with not necessarily a super high resolution can be a very good choice. All right, so the default picture mode on this monitor is FPS, which is designed for FPS games. If you do not intend to play FPS games, press any of the control keys on the right of the monitor and select picture mode to change the setting. Oh, okay, so we can go ahead and pull that off. This is the official monitor of the Intel Extreme Masters Gaming Tournament, which is kind of cool. So I'm sure some kind of validation was done somewhere along the line that it's good. Mind you, if it's anything like the 2420T or TX, which are basically the same monitor, one with a transmitter, one with not, then it should be pretty good. And we're going to go ahead and assemble it, and then we'll be back in a moment. Assembly is pretty straightforward. Align the arrow on the bottom of the stand to the arrow on the base right there. Well, you can try to do that. Simple as long as you're not me. There you go. Rotate it to put it in place. Then twist in the screw on the bottom, either with your hands or with a Phillips head screwdriver. No video would be complete without one of my classic phone size comparisons. So this is the HTC One. It's not a particularly slim monitor. However, the electronics that go into these high-speed displays necessitate a little bit of a thicker form factor with more ventilation. So you can see there's actually ventilation holes all along the back here that are covered in a plastic until you remove them. There we go. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we can mount it to the stand, which is as simple as aligning it correctly, which is easier to do when you're on the other side. Okay, apparently it's really easy to do because I got it. Just aligning it and then letting it pop into place. You can then remove the monitor by pressing this button and picking it up, just like that. Once it's all assembled, you have a lot of different options in terms of adjustment. So you have height adjust. There you go. Oh, that's good. That's about 6 inches of height adjust. You've got tilt, just like that, and you've got swivel. No pivot on this one. Pivot, remember guys, is when you can change it. Oh, okay, it does have pivot, never mind. Okay, so it has pretty much the entire range of adjustments, although I really can't imagine anyone actually gaming like this. But one thing that I do use the pivot on my monitor for is plugging in my connectors and then putting it back. So there you go, that might be handy for you. Included accessories-wise, things are pretty straightforward. Here's that dust cover that I showed you guys before. So if you're worried about dust on your monitor, then you can use it. There you go. We're just going to take that off for now, though. Let's talk a little bit about the features. So it's a 120 Hertz monitor, which is required for 3D. It is also better for not 3D, particularly if you're worried about the maximum responsiveness. Remember, any 60 Hertz monitor, no matter how little lag there is in the rest of your gaming setup, whether it's your mouse or whether it's your graphics card or any other delay in something happening to reaching your eyes on the screen, a 60 Hertz monitor at best can do 16.6 milliseconds, assuming it's perfect, of worst case scenario latency to getting the image to your eyes. A 120 Hertz monitor cuts that in half. It will bring you more images so that the worst case scenario for an update will be not as bad by half. So there you go. That was a very convoluted explanation, but I hope you understand. Display modes can be changed to 17, 19, 19 wide, 21.5 wide, 22 wide, 23 wide, 23.6 wide, and 24 wide. This is handy because what it allows you to do is practice at a different aspect ratio or a different monitor size before sort of walking in blind to a tournament setting where you're required to use a different monitor. Smart scaling for fine-tuned picture sizes, that's basically the same thing as display mode. And their black equalizer for optimum visibility will pull details out of blacks rather than crushing them. So what it does do is it makes the blacks a little bit less deep, a little bit less true, but you're compromising that for the sake of being able to see someone crouching in a shadow or being able to see a unit in an RTS that's kind of hidden in the fog of war or whatever else, or outside of your visibility or something like that. So you're able to see details that you couldn't otherwise. BenQ's rating it at a 1 millisecond gray-to-gray response time, and it does support Lightboost, which is 3D Vision 2, sort of. We're going to be back in a moment because our lighting just dramatically changed. More handy features. It comes with a handle as well as a headphone hook, which I personally think is kind of cool. It's nice to have somewhere to keep your headphones, as well as a built-in USB hub. So there's your headphone output on the side of the monitor, as well as 2 USB ports, so you could actually plug all of your peripherals into the side of the monitor. Down here we find all of the I/O. So it supports, there's more USB hubs. So there's your USB in, which is going to give you 3 USBs out between the one on the bottom and the 2 on the side. Dual HDMI in, which is cool because if you're a console gamer and you don't have like, maybe you're in a dorm or something like that, you don't have, a monitor and a TV and like another TV, then you can just switch the inputs and you can go, okay, Xbox input, PC input, and switch between them just like that. So dual HDMI. Dual link DVI. This is important because this one is going to be the one that's going to run NVIDIA 3D Vision. You have to have 120 Hertz support, and HDMI at 1920 by 1080 does not support it. It's not fast enough. VGA, seriously, if you're using a monitor like this with VGA, that's a problem. There's the last USB output, which goes to that little controller, which actually clips to the side of the monitor on whichever side you prefer using a little magnet. So you can just put it right there and then run this up to that output. And last but not least, it supports DisplayPort in. There's your power in right there, and included cables are dual link DVI, use this one. Power, VGA, and USB A to B, which is what will power and provide data for the built-in hub. Last but not least, touch-sensitive controls, but not the bad kind of touch-sensitive controls. These ones have audible feedback, so you press them, they go beep, and then they also light up, which is really, really cool, and the menu pops up right here. I actually found using these more convenient than using this one, but that's just me. Also, it looks like this monitor does have a built-in 3D emitter, much like the 2420TX, as opposed to the 2420T, which means you don't have to have the little pyramid-shaped 3D Vision emitter. I thought maybe I had one handy, but it looks like I don't. Don't forget to subscribe to Linus Tech Tips for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.